The wind howled across the broken rocks of planet Virelnine. Sand danced like ghosts over the dry surface. The old mining colony was silent. Now's just rusted metal, shattered windows, and dead machines. Logan stepped out of his ship, his boots crunching on cracked tiles. He wore a simple explorer's suit, gray with red trim. His helmet visor glowed blue as it scanned for life signs, but there was nothing, just dust. "This place is dead," his drone, Max, buzzed in his ear. Logan ignored the AI. "Something brought me here," he muttered. "Something feels off." He moved past collapsed walls and a broken cargo bay. Rust covered everything. But then he saw it. Tiny footprints. Not human. He followed them. Careful, quiet. The prints led to a half-buried storage unit. The door was jammed. Logan knelt and used a manual lever to pull it open. The inside was dark and cold. And then he saw her, curled in the corner, small, bare-skinned, alien, a young girl. Maybe 10 or 12 in Earth years, though alien age was hard to guess. Her body was thin, starving, her bones pushed against her skin. She had no clothes. Her white hair was tangled and full of dust. Her pale skin had bruises, some old, some fresh. Her tail thin and shaking, wrapped tightly around her legs. She didn't move, just stared at him with wide, empty eyes. Logan froze. Max scanned life signs. Heartbeat very weak. Body temperature dangerously low. Signs of dehydration and trauma. Species unknown. Logan stepped forward, slowly, hands raised, to show he meant no harm. "Hey," he said gently. "It's okay. I won't hurt you." The girl flinched. She tried to press herself deeper into the corner, but there was nowhere left to go. Her lips opened slightly, but no words came out. Only a dry, broken breath. He quickly took off his outer jacket and wrapped it around her. She was freezing. "Stay with me," he said. "You're safe now." He picked her up gently. She was so light, like carrying paper. "Max, warm up. The medbay. I'm bringing her in. Understood?" As he walked back to the ship, the girl didn't fight him. She didn't move. She just lay in his arms like a lifeless doll. Inside the ship, Logan placed her on the medbay bed and connected a fluid pack to her arm. The machine beeped as it monitored her vitals. "Max, translate her DNA. Running scan. Partial match. 2 known humanoid species. Sorellin, female. Estimated age 14 Earth years. Zorellans, proud race known for advanced genetics and strict honor rules. But they never left their wounded behind. Never. So why was this girl left to die?" Logan watched her chest rise and fall, slow, painful breaths. He gently touched her. Arms, she flinched again. So much fear, so much pain. "Who did this to you?" Logan whispered. He stepped back and pulled up the drone footage of the site. There were no fresh tracks, no signs of a fight or shuttle nearby. Whoever left her here. Meant for her to die? Alone. Forgotten just then. She stirred. Her lips moved slightly. Logan leaned in. She whispered one word, barely audible. "Cold." Logan's eyes widened. It was the first time she had spoken. He took a heated blanket and wrapped it around her. "It's okay," he said softly. "You're not cold anymore. You're not alone." She looked at him. Really looked. And for a moment, something sparked in her dull eyes: fear, confusion, and maybe hope. Then she closed her eyes and fainted again. Logan sat beside her, troubled. He had found lost ships, ancient artifacts, even dangerous beasts in his travels. But this was different. He didn't just find a mystery. He found a broken soul. And someone somewhere wanted her gone. But why? And what was he going to do now? The ship floated quietly through space. Inside, soft lights glowed. The hum of machines filled the air. Logan sat beside the medbed, watching the alien girl sleep. She had been unconscious for hours. Wrapped in blankets, her small body barely moved. Her breathing was slow, but steady now. The 4 fluids helped. Her body temperature was coming back to normal, but her eyes, those empty eyes, haunted him. He had seen soldiers cry, Pirates scream, even monsters fall. But this girl didn't even seem alive on the inside. Just breathing, existing, not living. Logan got up and went to the storage room. He opened a box filled with his old stuffed memories from Earth. Inside, he found a small plush toy, gray and white animal with button eyes and floppy ears. Dusty, he smiled. You've been with me since I was 10. He carried it back to the med-bay. The girl had woken. She stared at the ceiling, unmoving. Logan knelt beside her. Hey, he said softly, holding out the toy. This is for you. Her eyes shifted slowly. At first she didn't react. Then she blinked. Her hand trembled as she reached out, fingers brushing the toy like she was touching fire. Slowly, she pulled it close to her chest and hugged it tightly. Still no words, but her lips trembled. Her throat moved, like she wanted to speak, but couldn't. For the next few days, Logan tried everything. He gave her clean clothes, soft fabric, loose-fitting. She wore them, but never looked him in the eye. He cooked simple meals. She ate silently, never finishing the plate. He tried talking to her in different languages. Nothing, Mox. He asked the AI drone, why won't she speak? Possible reasons: trauma, fear, selective mutism, or cultural silence customs. Her body is healing. Her mind may take longer. Logan nodded. We'll go slow. One evening, he found her sitting at the window, watching stars. The plush toy sat in her lap. He sat beside her, but said nothing. Just let the silence be. After a while, she glanced at him. Her lips moved again. Just a whisper, but enough. Safe. Logan's heart stopped. Then he nodded. Yes, you're safe. Her eyes filled with water, but no tears fell. Not yet. Later that night, Logan checked the ship logs. He needed answers. Where had she come from? Who left her? The DNA scan results loaded again. Species Xyrellin. High caste bloodline markers detected. High caste. That didn't make sense. Xyrellins were obsessed with blood, purity, strength, perfection. Why would a high caste girl be thrown away? Logan searched for known Xyrellin incidents, rebellions or Xyrellins, or family scandals. One report stood out. Genetic imperfection detected in noble offspring family. Refuses to comment. No name was given, but the timeline matched. Could that be her? He whispered. Was she discarded like broken glass? Because of a flaw? The next morning, Logan found her drawing on the table. Just lines and shapes with a stylus. Circles. Stars, symbols. One looked familiar. He scanned it with Max translation. Not worthy. Common mark placed on rejected females in Xyrellin eugenics cults. His jaw clenched. She had been marked as worthless, thrown away. He sat across from her gently. He took the stylus and drew a new symbol, one from Earth. A heart. She tilted her head, then looked at him and whispered her second word. Mine, Logan. Smiled. Yes, yours. She touched it carefully, as if it might vanish, and for the first time she smiled back. A tiny, broken smile, but real. Logan leaned back. She still had no name, still didn't speak much, but she was trying, piece by piece. She was waking up. Not just her body, but her soul, and he would be there every step of the way. The ship floated through the silence of deep space, but inside, something had changed. The girl, once silent and lifeless, was now moving. Slowly and carefully, like a small bird learning to fly again. She still didn't speak much, but she followed. Logan through the halls, always holding her plush toy. She watched him cook. She watched him work. Sometimes she would sit close, not touching, but near enough to feel safe. Logan didn't ask questions. Not yet, but he had many. Who was she? Why had she been left to die? Most of all, what had been done to her? One afternoon, while she napped, curled on the bench, Logan quietly scanned her again, this time, deeper. He didn't want to scare her, but he needed answers. Max, he said, run a full bioscan. Focus on implants, markers, or genetic modifications. The AI hummed. Processing. A moment later, results appeared and Logan's eyes narrowed. There's a tag inside her spine, Max reported. Deep, nearly invisible. Military grade. What kind of tag? Tracker? Designed for high-caste biochildren? Hidden? Illegal in most systems? Logan stared at the girl. She was no random orphan. She had been watched, owned, controlled, but by who? And why? Later, when she woke, Logan tried something new. He brought a digital screen and slowly showed her picture ships, planets, alien species, and symbols. He pointed at each one. She stayed quiet, till he showed a symbol that made her hand shoot forward. She touched the screen and pulled back quickly, like she'd touched fire. It was a symbol shaped like a spiked ring with blood-red lines through. The center, what is it? Logan asked gently. Her lips trembled. Bad place. He froze. You were there. She nodded slowly. Her voice cracked as she whispered, hurt me. Inside. Make. Perfect. Logan's hands curled into fists. He recognized the symbol now. The Zeralon Reclaiming Centaura? Secret facility known only in dark corners of the galaxy. Rumors said they took in flawed children of noble blood and experimented on them, trying to fix their imperfections. But most of those children were never seen again. Logan didn't tell her what he knew, not yet. Instead, he sat beside her and showed her an old photo of himself, as a child, with his sister, smiling on a broken earth hilltop. That's my sister Ruby, he said. She was born different. People said she was slow, but she was the best part of my life. Girl looked at the picture. Her eyes softened. She pointed at it and said, safe. Logan smiled. Yes, she was safe with me. And now so are you. That night, Logan couldn't sleep. He kept thinking of the tag inside her. Someone might still be tracking her. They found her. He walked quietly into the med bay, pulled up her scan again, and began a delicate operation with a micro tool removing the tracker from her spine without waking her. The tiny chip came out, but it blinked. Red, MAX, blocked the signal fast. Already done, the AI replied. Logan stared at the chip. Somewhere, someone had just lost their signal, and now they might come looking. The next morning, the girl woke up feeling different, stronger. She sat up and stared at Logan with clear eyes. What? Name? She asked, surprising him. He turned. You mean your name? She nodded. No name. Want name. Logan thought for a moment. He remembered a star he once studied, a rare one. It had exploded once, but instead of dying, it turned into something more beautiful. How about Nova? She said it softly. Nova then smiled. Yes, she said, hugging the plush toy. I'm Nova. Logan smiled back. He still didn't have all the answers, but she had a name now, a voice, and a past that was finally starting to surface. But so was danger, because now someone would come. Someone who didn't want Nova to have a future at all. Logan leaned back in the pilot's seat, sipping old Earth coffee as the stars drifted by. The ship glided smoothly now, far from any trade route. He had no destination, only a mission: keep Nova safe. Behind him, the soft patter of small footsteps echoed. Nova stood at the doorway, holding her plush toy. She was wearing a hoodie now, his old one. It was too big for her, but she didn't seem to mind. She said nothing. She walked closer. Then, slowly, she sat beside him, not across the room, not behind a wall. Beside. Logan glanced at her. She didn't look away this time. Instead, looked at his hand then, quietly reached out and touched his sleeve. It was the first time she had touched him on her own. Just that simple, soft gesture said more than words ever could. Later, they sat in the lounge. Logan turned on a soft, tune-in old melody from Earth. A piano, slow and warm, played through the room. Nova tilted her head. What? This, she whispered. It's music, Logan said. From my world, helps people feel. She blinked. Feel. He nodded. Joy, sadness, memory, it heals. Nova listened, her ears twitching slightly. Then, something strange happened. She began to hum softly, a different tune, alien, haunting, beautiful. Logan didn't interrupt. She closed her eyes as she hummed. The sound filled the ship, like the memory of a star crying in the night. When she stopped, the silence felt heavy. That was amazing, Logan said. Nova opened her eyes slowly. My mother. I sang that before I was taken. He didn't ask more, he just said, thank you for sharing it. She looked down and whispered, I trust you. It hit Logan like a punch. To the chest. So simple, so quiet, but so powerful. Those 3 words were the first real connection between them. That night, Logan checked the navigation logs. Max, anything unusual? Long-range scan. Minimal traffic. But signal spike. Detected. Unmarked vessel passed near us 48 hours ago. Matched old Zeralon tech signature. Logan tensed. They following us? Unknown. Could be coincidence, but unlikely. He looked over his shoulder. Nova was sleeping on the couch, her plush toy tucked under her chin. They had found her once, they could again. The next morning, Logan woke to something unexpected. A plate of food. Nova had made it.
Try to.
Some bread. A few fruits. A boiled protein cube. It was a mess, but it was hers. For you, she said, eyes hopeful. He smiled and sat down. It looks perfect. She waited until he took a bite, then watched his face closely. It was awful, but he smiled through it. Delicious. Beamed. It was the first time he had seen her laugh. Not a big laugh, but a real one. Suddenly, ship alarm blared. Max, report. Unidentified vessel, approaching fast. No ID. Weapons armed. Nova froze, her eyes wide. No, she whispered. They found me. Logan stood up. Get to the back. Hide. Now. She didn't move. I don't want to go, she said. You have to, Logan said firmly, but gently. Let me protect you. She stared at him, then slowly nodded. But before she left, she turned back, ran into his arms, and hugged him. Tight, her first hug. Logan held her close. I'll come back, he said. Promise. She let go. And ran. Logan entered the cockpit, fingers flying over controls. Max shields up. Charge jump drive. Charging. Time to jump. 2 minutes. Stall them. As the enemy ship locked onto them, Logan narrowed his eyes. They wanted Nova back. But they were too late. Because now, she had someone willing to fight. The ship shook as laser blasts hit the shield. Red lights flashed across the cockpit. Max, Logan shouted, gripping the controls. Divert all power to evasive thrusters. Done. Shields at 73%. Enemy ship still gaining. It could see it now on the screen as sleek Zerellan War Scout. Black metal, sharp edges, no markings. Silent but deadly. Logan's hands were steady. His heart was not. They didn't want to rescue. They wanted Nova back. In the back cabin, Nova hid behind a crate, clutching her plush toy. She could feel the shaking. She could hear the alarms. She wasn't just scared. She was remembering. Metal tables, needles, cold lights, men in robes, whispering words like imperfection, correction, and breeding potential. Her breathing got faster. No, not again, not ever again. On the bridge, Logan opened a secret panel and pulled out a long black case. Inside was a weapon he hadn't touched in years. A prototype plasma rifle. Let's give them a warm welcome, he muttered. How close? Boarding latch in 40 seconds. They want her alive. They'll kill anyone who stands in the way. Enemy ship attached like a parasite. Metal groaned as the boarding tube connected. Logan stood in front of the hatch, rifle aimed. His body was calm, but in his mind all he could think was, don't let them take her. Don't let them win. The door blew open. 3 armored Zerellan soldiers stepped inside. One of them shouted, return the property. No harm will come to you. Human. Logan didn't move. She's not property. They raised their weapons. So did he. The first shot hit one in the leg. He dropped with a scream. Logan rolled and fired again, knocking the second one into the wall, but the third charged and slammed him hard. Logan grunted, the rifle sliding from his grip. They fought hand to hand. Logan ducked a punch, elbowed the soldier in the jaw, then grabbed a power cable from the wall and jammed it. Into the alien's armor, sparks flew. The Zeralon twitched and collapsed. Logan panted. All three were down. For now, he staggered to the back, calling Nova. She didn't answer. He found her curled up, shaking. "They came for me," she whispered. Like before. He knelt beside her. "They're not taking you," I promised. Tears welled in her eyes. "But they'll come again. Then we run, together." She looked at him, heart pounding. Then she stood, wiped her tears, and said for the first time with full voice, "Let's go." Back in the cockpit, Logan started the jump sequence. "Max, is the path clear? Coordinates locked. Jump in 10 seconds. Hold tight." As the ship began to hum, Nova touched Logan's shoulder. He looked down. She held something out to him. "Ah." Small stone, glowing softly blue. "What's this?" he asked. She hesitated, then said, "Bindstone. My people use it to link souls, forever." Logan blinked. "You're giving it to me?" She nodded. "You saved me. I want to stay with you, not just for now, always." He stared at the tiny stone. It was ancient, sacred. He took it and closed his fingers around. It jump sequence activated in a burst of light. The ship vanished from the enemy's radar. Nova leaned against him in the silence. He put his arm around her, not as a savior, but as someone who finally understood what she needed. Not escape, not pity, but family. The stars looked different now, not because the ship had jumped to a new sector, but because something inside Nova had changed. She sat in the corner of the lounge, staring at the glowing bindstone Logan now wore around his neck. Her fingers traced the old scars on her arm, the brands, the marks of ownership. She touched them gently. But this time, not with shame, with quiet anger. Logan brought her a cup of warm soup and sat down. He didn't speak. He knew she needed space. Finally, she said, "I want to tell you everything." He nodded. "I'm listening." Her voice was soft but steady. "They made us in glass tanks, said we were born from the pure bloodlines. But if we had even one error, we were not children. We were failures." Logan clenched his jaw. "They trained us to obey, to smile, to breed. Some tried to escape. Most didn't survive." Nova's eyes burned. "I escaped not because I was brave, but because another girl gave up her chance. She shoved me into a waste chute and told me to run." "What was her name?" Logan asked quietly. Nova looked down. "They never gave us names." She reached into her old cloak and pulled out a data shard. "This has proof. Videos, logs, test records. They kept backups in case nobles wanted to review their investments. I stole it." Logan took it gently. "If this is real, it is," she said firmly. "Down their entire project, but they'll come for you harder." He shrugged. "Let them try." Logan plugged the shard into his console. As it booted up, disturbing images flickered to life. CRYO-pods filled with children. Doctors performing cruel surgeries. Nobles selecting girls like items from a catalog. And then a small, fat-haired girl sitting still as a mark was burned into her neck. Logan slammed his fist into the console. "They need to pay," he said. Nova whispered. "They need to be seen." They spent the next day preparing a transmission. Logan used Old Earth encryption and crackable by Zeralon Tech. They planned to send the data to every major galactic council, Newsnet, and Free Zone Archive. "This will start a war," Max warned. Logan looked at Nova. "Maybe, but it will also save others." Nova said nothing. She reached out, gently took his hand. No fear in her touch now, only strength. As Logan prepared to transmit, proximity alarms shrieked. Max chimed multiple enemy signals. "They found us," Nova didn't flinch. Instead, she walked to the command console. "I'll send the transmission." Logan hesitated. "Nova, I have to do this. With my voice." She stood before the camera. Her eyes, once hollow, now glowed. With fury, she pressed record. "My name is Nova. I was born in a Zeralon purity facility. They told me I was broken. They marked me, hurt me, threw me away. But I survived. Not because of them, but because a human found me and gave me what my people never did." She held up the bindstone. A choice. She uploaded the files, then hit send. All across the galaxy, signals pinged, screens lit up, and the truth began to spread like fire. The enemy ship arrived, too late. Logan stood in the cockpit, weapon ready. Nova stood beside him, no longer a weak, shaking girl, but a survivor, a breaker of chains. 3 standard weeks had passed since the transmission. 3 weeks since Nova stood before the galaxy and broke the silence. Her kind had suffered for years. Now the stars whispered her name, not with pity, but with awe. The ship landed on a quiet, green world deep in the Human Federation's protected Zonodon Outpost 3. Far from war, far from Zerellan space. Here, survivors were given new beginnings. Nova stepped out onto soft grass, barefoot, her eyes wide. She had never touched living Earth before. The wind felt warm. The sky was blue, not the gray ceilings of labs or steel halls. Logan walked behind her, a small pack on his back. "Feels strange?" he asked. She nodded. "It feels clean." Sighed. The refugee center, a kind human nurse, scanned Nova and smiled. "We've received your transmission. You're safe here. No one can touch you." Nova didn't answer. She only looked at the children running in the nearby courtyard. Some were alien, some human, some hybrids, all of them laughing. "Free?" She turned to Logan. "Can I be like them?" Crouched beside her. "You already are." Later that night, Nova sat alone under the stars, staring at her hands. The brands were still there, faded, but visible. Marks of the life she once knew. Logan approached and sat beside her, silent. She finally spoke. "Do you think I'm still broken?" He looked at her. "No," he said. "You were never broken. You were made to believe you were." She thought about that for a long moment, then said, "I want a new name." "Ah." Logan blinked. "But I thought you liked Nova." She smiled gently. "I do. But I want to choose it for myself this time." He nodded slowly. "All right. Then choose." She looked up at the stars. "I was born in silence, survived the void, and lit a flame." She turned to him. "Call me Luma. It means light in an old tongue I found on your ship." Logan's smile widened. "Luma," he repeated. She beamed. "For the first time," she said, "I'm not carrying someone else's name." The next day, galactic news was ablaze. Several Zeralon houses were under investigation. Multiple breeding facilities shut. Downed civilians, Zeralon and otherwise, rail-ed in protest. And across all the vids, one face remained. Luma Singh Young, scarred, unbreakable. Diplomat from the Human Federation visited Eden Outpost. He knelt before Ume and offered her something she never imagined. A citizenship chip. She would now be officially protected as a human ally. Logan watched quietly as she accepted her hands. Shook a little, but her voice didn't. "Thank you," she said. "I won't waste this life." Later, she and Logan stood at the edge of a hill. Sunset poured gold across the sky. "Will you leave now?" she asked. Logan looked surprised. "Why would I? You've given me freedom. Your job is done." He chuckled. "You think I was doing a job?" She looked down, embarrassed. Logan reached out and gently pulled the bindstone from beneath his shirt. "I still wear this," he said, "because I meant it." Luma touched her own matching stone. So did I. They stood together for a while, in silence. Then she whispered, "Will you stay?" He smiled. "Always." In the distance, 2 shooting stars crossed the sky. One burned bright. The other followed, just as strong. And somewhere deep inside her where fear once lived. Now there. with something else: hope, family, and light.